Well, I don't know what town this is. And there are still people that live here, and it looks like there's still a school back there. But this whole front part of the town that is on Highway 30, which is actually just off of Interstate 80,
about 3 miles.
looks like it's kind of ghosty town. Everything's kind of just gone. Now, obviously, there are some people that still live here, but yeah, look at them old trucks. And no, there's some old cars back there too, some old Volkswagens.
Yeah, I see
a
that.
little square back or something like that. Well, that was interesting. Just kind of stumbled onto that one. Huh. We are actually on Highway 30 in Nebraska. This is part of the old Lincoln Highway. If you don't know anything about the Lincoln Highway, there is some documentaries out there you can watch about it. It's kind of like a Route 66 from back in the day, you know. It's not really highly traveled anymore because I-80 actually runs right over there parallel with it. But as you can see, this is kept up, or at least this section is kept up fairly well. But from what I understand, it's like Route 66 where some of it'll go off, veer off into a field and it's gone. So we, of course, won't be taking those routes. But it's kind of interesting to travel along a little bit of a historic, Americana, yeah. Look at this. An old motel. I swear, I think I remember seeing this on the documentary that I watched. We're in Lodgepole, Nebraska. We kind of just flew past this, and Jesse turned around and come back so we could get this on video. That is really cool. We're in Chapel, Nebraska. So, moments in history. Cabela's fishing lure. Richard Dick Cabela started selling fishing flies that became Cabela's. Aaron Gun Pyle, local farmer and painter, called Painter of Nebraska. Pony Express commemorative stamp rode through from April 3rd, 1860 to October 24th, 1861. Congresswoman Virginia Dodd Smith served 1975-1991. Charles Henry Chapel worked for railroad companies 1870-1913. The town is named after him. Oriana Ward Chapel, wife of Charles. Brooch and glasses, artifacts found in the library's art gallery. Lincoln Highway marker, Transcontinental Highway dedicated in 1913. New York to San Francisco, mural painted by Lauren Olson, 2021. Isn't that pretty? And then I'm going to walk over here because there's another mural over here. I watched the documentary, which was, I think, probably around an hour long, but it was very interesting. And we are now seeing these things going through these towns, some of them that were mentioned in that documentary. The documentary was, I think, mostly focused on the Nebraska area, it seemed like, or, had a lot of information about these places that we're going through in Nebraska. And there's just a little bit more interesting little tidbits. So that's really neat. What a fun little stop. And they have picnic area here. you can get out and rest and have some eats, and we just kind of did that on the side of the road because we were getting really hungry, and eating joints are a little few and far between here, so we just stopped, grabbed some sandwiches out of the cooler, and now we're just making our way across Nebraska. There. Yeah, that's kind of a Lincoln Highway mural too. That's pretty. Not your ordinary town. A nice little mural, or big mural. Oh, there's another one. Welcome to, I really have no idea how to say that. Ogallala's what I've been saying. That's probably not right. So this is the front street, what did they call it? Museum market? I don't know. It's got a saloon and a restaurant. I'm not really sure. I think most of these are just kind of goofy, silly, and cute. I just thought it was cute. This is that same town that I don't know how to pronounce. Okay, so this is Roscoe, which is also a sort of ghost town, but not really, because people still live here too. But so much of it is kind of gone. Can you roll up any? That's a neat building there. Let's even get a wood back there. The top window was wood. Whatever that was has been collapsed. And I don't know. I don't think anybody lives in that. Interesting how when a interstate comes in, it takes all the town out. So that's pretty cool. That is actually a museum. But we're not going to go into it because, well, we're not really museum-y type people. Plus, we can't take Darby in there, so. Yeah, and it's also 8 o'clock, so I'm sure it's closed anyway. Okay, so we were going to stop in Kearney, Nebraska, and rent a Motel 6 because that's kind of our motel of choice, only because Darby can stay for free. If you know of another hotel chain where dogs could stay free, big dogs, because that's another thing, sometimes they have to be small dogs. But if you do know of one, go ahead and comment and let me know, because I'll definitely look into something else. Well, something that's not going to cost $300 or $400 a night, because that makes a difference too. We're not going to pay a fortune. So this is another Motel 6, and it is actually in York, Nebraska. Sorry, I'm tired. I'm hungry. The Kearney one was booked, solid. They were sold out, so we couldn't stay there. And yeah, I didn't book ahead of time because it was kind of last minute, sort of somewhat. We sort of knew we were going to spend an extra night, but then I don't know. We didn't know for sure positively, and so we were kind of just winging it, I guess. This is why I don't like to wing it. So anyway, luckily the one in York had an open vacancy. That's the word. And So yeah, but this one is really nice. It's a lot nicer than the one that we stayed at in Mitchell, South Dakota. This one looks more like the pictures that Motel 6 shows. You kind of see behind me, you know, there's even like a little eating area over here. We've got fridge over here, TV, which I gotta figure out because it's in some kind of a little tiny picture mode and I don't know. Now there is like this hot and spicy chicken box and I'm kind of scared to see what's in that. I don't know why that's there. They've got a nice little kitchen or sink area and the bathroom. It's nothing. I mean, it's just a toilet and a shower and you know that kind of thing. But I mean, it's all nice and clean. I love this little seating area over here though. It's like a little bench seat and then you get a little chair and it's like a little breakfast nookie type place or something. And then you each have full-size bed and little nightstands. So that's kind of nice. And right outside of our window is like the courtyard area, and there is a dog potty area and a gazebo, and yeah, I don't know. So yeah, we're gonna stay here for the night. This puts us closer to home than what we were gonna be because since we couldn't stay in Kearney. But we do have some more stops tomorrow. We missed a few today couldn't find them. They were like Roadside America things, and there was a couple of them we just could not find, and then we kind of were like, okay, we're wasting too much time. We need to get going. So as it stands, it's like, I think 9 o'clock at night now. And Jesse has run to McDonald's to get us some quick food because we're hungry and we already did the sandwich thing earlier today, so we don't want to do that again. But anyway, so do you want to see Darby? Let's see. See if Darby will come say hi. There she is. There's that pretty baby. There's that pretty baby. She's glad to be out of the car. That was a long drive today. I think we discovered we were in the car for determined that it was like 14 hours. Don't like this hair thing. Good morning. We are on our last day of our trip. We are leaving this Motel 6 in York, Nebraska. We're going to head to... Ooh, look at that hair just flying around everywhere. We're going to head to Lincoln. We got really kind of only one thing to do in Lincoln. Well, two. I got to get some coffee. And there's a Caribou coffee there, and I have a free coffee, so I want my free coffee. And then we're going to head on to one more stop in Nebraska. I believe just one more stop. No, two. We've got two stops in Nebraska. We actually have one before Lincoln. And then we'll be heading all the way home. Okay, well, we kind of missed our first stop that was going to be before Lincoln. I just kind of was busy on my phone, and by the time we got to the spot, but it was just supposed to be a giant covered wagon, so not that big a deal. Right now we are in the Wyuka Cemetery in Lincoln. I'm going to flip you around here. This is the grave of Lauren Bartlett. Which ones are... No, that would be like probably grandma there or something. Oh no, this is the ones we want right here. They're all three together. So that's Marion, which was the dad, Betty Jean, which was the little girl, and Velda, which was the mom. I imagine those other people are related somehow, but not sure how. So you'll notice that all of them have the same death date, and that would be because they were murder victims of Charles Starkweather, and up in the air Carol Ann Fugate, who was Velda's daughter, Marion's stepdaughter, and Betty Jean's half-sister. She was 14 years old, and he was, I believe, not 18, 19. He's like 5 years or so older than her. And they went on a little spree and decided to do some damage to some people, and her family happened to be some of those people. She denies it. She is actually still alive. Imagine that. She was sentenced to life in prison, and it was commuted to a 30 to 50 year sentence, and she was paroled after 17 years in the 70s. And she is still alive and well and living in, I believe, Michigan is the last known residency. And to this day, she swears up and down that she had absolutely nothing to do with it, that she was being held captive, and you might be able to tell by the sound of my voice that I'm not sure I actually believe it. So, anyway, this would be her family. And you would think if she really had nothing to do with it, she'd probably want to live close to her family where she could come and visit once in a while. At least that would be my thoughts, but, you know, I don't know. Whatever. This is a super large cemetery, and there are actually 3 other people here that we are going to attempt to find and continue to share stories with you about. Okay, here's our next one. This is C. Lauer Ward and Clara O. Ward. And as you can see, they also have the same death date. That is because they were also victims of Charles Starkweather. Clara was at home with her maid, and he was robbing the house and killed her, her maid, and if I remember correctly, their dog. And they hung out at the house. I say they because I believe Carol Ann was with him at the time. And when Mr. Ward got home, they killed him too, or Charles killed him. So they are resting here in the Wyuka Cemetery, the same cemetery as Carol Ann Fugate's stepfather, mother, and half-sister. And we have one more to find in this cemetery, and hopefully we can do it before it starts raining. It's already sprinkling, and it's really cold again today. So we're kind of trying to hurry. And there he is, the creep himself, the one that murdered all those people and more. They're just in different cemeteries throughout. I think most all of them are in Nebraska. That's him. He was convicted, sentenced to death, and I believe all those murders took place in 58. And as you can see, he was taken care of in 59. And I'm not really sure why they would go ahead and put rest in peace on there, because honestly, I mean, I could care less whether he rested in peace. I don't know about you, but I mean,
they based a movie off of him.
Yeah, they did. They based several movies off of him. Natural Born Killers is probably the most popular, well-known one, and can you remember any of the others? There was like 4 or 5 movies that are loosely, I guess, based. You know, of course, they always had their Hollywood fiction stuff in there, but, you know. So, yeah, if you've ever watched, and who was in that movie?
Woody Harrelson and,
who's that girl?
Juliette Lewis.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson and Juliette Lewis. So they were basically playing Starkweather and Fugate. I don't know what their names were in the movie. I never watched that movie.
I watched it, but it's been long.
Yeah. No, we did not come back to the same cemetery. This one is in Nebraska City. If It just happens to have the same name as the one we were at in Lincoln. And the whole reason that I wanted to come by here is for this one tombstone. Oh, it's raining, it's cold. But is this not the coolest tombstone you have ever seen? That is so neat. There's supposed to be some other pretty unique tombstones in the cemetery, but I'm not going to be walking around to find them all. We might drive through, and if I see something, I'll get it from the car if I can. This unique tombstone is the tombstone of Sterling Morton. Jules Sterling Morton was the let's see it. Okay, well, he was the Secretary of Agriculture to President Grover Cleveland. He was also the founder of Arbor Day, which, if you weren't aware, Nebraska has laid claims to being the Arbor state. So whenever you see Arbor Day Foundation doing or whatever something, planting trees and things like that, that would have been created by this guy right here. There is a massive oak tree. And that little sign right there says, "This stately bur oak stands approximately 65 feet tall with a canopy of 7,850 square feet and 16-foot 6-inch circumference at the base. Feasibly, J. Sterling Morton, founder of Arbor Day, whose gravesite we just visited, planted this tree following the death of his wife Caroline in 1881. So that tree is 140 years old. Wow. It is a pretty tree. This is the Lewis and Clark Missouri River Basin Visitor Center, right? That's a mouthful. And we don't typically stop at visitor centers, but I wanted to stop at this one because I wanted to see the boat. I think that's cool. And you can get up on the boat. Well, you can get up on this deck. Oh yeah, actually I think you can get actually on the boat. I'm gonna have to go around though. It's a replica of a barge keelboat that Lewis and Clark used. That's really pretty cool. I think it's neat that they let you come in it. It's pretty good sized. They put a lot of work into this. Unfortunately, they don't let you go up on that top part. Or inside there. That's locked. What a gloomy drive home. It is raining. It's all cloudy. I didn't get my caribou coffee. Thinking we'll be stopping somewhere in Kansas City. I think there's a caribou coffee there. I guess you can't use the perks at the caribou coffees that are inside like Hy-Vee grocery stores and stuff like that, which I think is a little bit ridiculous. If you're going to have an app that gives perks and you're going to have a location, they should all take the card. Whatever. So hopefully I can pick up my free coffee, because today's the last chance I get to get that one. So we'll see. This is what we're seeing on our drive home. What a way to end the vacation. Makes me sad. Yay, I got my free coffee! And we got Darby a pup cup. Look at that. Yummy, yummy. It's been a long time since you had a pup cup.